Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. I guess this is the season 5 reunion. we still never got clear on whether this is season 4 or 5. You guys want to tell me it's 4. The TV say it's 5, so that's what we're going to call it, season 5 reunion. And yeah, we're here, you guys. First and foremost, let me tell everybody Happy New Year. I hope you guys all enjoyed your New Year, honey. They was cutting up. Your cousins was cutting the fuck up in my neighborhood. I was like, when the fuck? First of all, I fell asleep. Okay, it was like 9:30. I was in the bed. I knew I was gonna fall asleep, and I did. And I didn't wake up until after the new year. Apparently, Mr. and Joe, Jada had spent the night at her friend's house. And so Mr. and Joe both tried to come in there and tell me Happy New Year. I was like, why y'all didn't wake me up? But they didn't wake me up, so I slept through the new year. But I woke up shortly afterwards because these motherfuckers was shooting up in here. They had this neighborhood lit up. I have lived in this neighborhood the whole time. We moved in this subdivision when it was still getting built. It's probably almost 200 houses in here now. But when we first moved here, we were like the first of the people. I ain't never heard so much fucking shooting in my life. Yeah, they was doing fireworks too, but these niggas was shooting. I'm talking about boom, 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 boom. I was like, where the fuck do I live? Mister was like, when did everybody get all these guns? I mean, I really felt like, damn, I be walking around in this subdivision. I mean, I feel safe in the subdivision, but I'm telling you, these people, I guess with COVID, folks went out and got their guns. You know, when the shit was going down with, YSAP, we ain't really knew how folks was going to be moving and shit. I guess everybody really went and got them. So it was ridiculous. I mean, it was borderline ridiculous. It wasn't borderline. It was ridiculous. That shit went on till about 3 a.m. Now I walked blue this morning. I was looking for bullet cases. I was just like, it got to be bullet cases because y'all motherfuckers was, I'm talking about just, I wanted to knock on some doors like, nigga, was you one of these ones that was shooting? Yeah, it was wild. It was wild. But nobody got hurt. And, everything is good. Today, everybody is responsible. People done took their decorations down and everything. But I'm telling you, I ain't never in the 18 years that we have been living in this house, ain't never saw some shit like that or heard some shit like that. I was concerned, but I told Jada, I said, don't you bring your ass home, because Jada is good for, she is saying she gonna spend a night over one of her friend's house, then she don't want to stay there. Then she'd be coming home at 3 a.m, waking everybody up. And I was like, do not do it, because they are shooting way too much. It is not safe. So I was just, yeah, your cousins was on it. But anyway, hope you guys had a great New Year's. My New Year's Day was nice. My New Year's, the end of 2022 didn't end well. Some shit done happened. It's fucked up. And I mean, nothing, that you guys need to be worried about, but it definitely dampened the spirits around this house. And it's gonna be fine, y'all. It's nothing, like I said, y'all need to be worried about, but the shit is fucked up a little bit. So, we was all kind of like, ain't really feeling it like that. That's why I didn't really post. I didn't post yesterday. I just wanted to spend time with the family and cook, which I did. Everything came out good. We had company and, it was just nice. But yeah, I'm telling you, some shit had always throw a goddamn curveball on that ass, y'all. It's just not, it wasn't. So yeah, 2022, that shit, it's just, thank goodness we on to 2023. Hopefully, we can get shit on track and life will be good. But anyway, I'm not here to complain because I'm alive and I'm healthy and, so I've got a lot of things to be thankful for. But yeah, if I was going to keep it 100% real with you guys, 2022 could have ended better. All right. But anyway, we are here for the reunion. And like these reunions go, Carlos, who has to be the happiest person, he's just the happiest person, goes around to see everybody that is there for the reunion. We've got the cast, basically. So he's going around, he's asking people, what are their expectations? What are they going to do? And everybody has their certain things that they're going to do. Kimmy says she's going to sit back and watch the fireworks. Mill says she's going to go low, okay, all the way to hell. He walks in on Martell. He's having a conversation with Sheree. Surprise, surprise. Okay. So Carlos gets on the phone with Sheree and asks her, amongst other questions, if she's in love with Martell. And she was like, Carlos, you're so nosy. I was like, girl, don't you say you in love with that man? That y'all just been together 15 minutes and ain't even together no more. Okay. I mean, we knew that she wasn't in love and all, even though Martell promised her a ring for the nice things that she said about him. Child, anyway. Carlos loves all of this. He is truly in his element when he can be with, I think, probably his favorite cast of all of his shows that he does. Love and Marriage Huntsville. Even with all the bullshit that happens on their show, you guys, I still feel like Love and Marriage Huntsville is one of the better reality shows and still feels a little, even though, there's some shit that happens for sure, where it's not necessarily, I still feel like Love and Marriage Huntsville is more reality, okay? More of their reality, okay? And I use that loosely, you guys, because all reality shows have some element of fakeness to it, but I feel like Love and Marriage Huntsville still has shit that it ain't just a whole bunch of he say, she say, like Real Housewives. But we'll get to Real Housewives in a little bit, you guys. But so, so that's that, okay? We get to the show. Carlos is dressed in his, finest, his smoking jacket and his, his pants, tuxedo look or whatever. And then he introduces the couples. Right off the bat, I said, isn't Lewis and Tiffany a part of the damn couples? I mean, they get opening on the show, but they not up there. It's still just the original 6, which is Kimmy and Maurice. They come out and they both looked really nice. I think everybody really looked good. Let me just say that from the beginning. Kimmy's dress was the least of my favorite, but I still felt she looked great. And it was a lot going on the dress, but it was sexy and, it had its cutouts. I was just a little concerned about the cutouts at the hip area. It was weird to me. It was like, it was low but I still liked the way she looked. Okay, hair was beautiful. Makeup was beautiful. Then he introduced the other Scots, which is Marceau and Letitia. And this is the best that I have seen Letitia look on the reunions. The absolute best. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put in my vote right now for them to put that look that Letitia had as the opening for the show, because every fucking time the opening credits run for this show, I get mad at the way that Letitia looks. I don't know who styled her for that beginning opening, but every time I see it, I said, where's this old muddy looking ass makeup, and her lips and her hair look like it ain't done, and it's just such a not a good look, especially with everybody else looking good on the opening, even Destiny. Okay, so it's just like, why did Letitia get, why did her look get messed up like that? Girl, you approved that? But honey, let me tell you, that Letitia was fucking on it in this reunion. Hair beautiful, makeup. She is a very pretty woman. Okay, I've never thought that she wasn't, but she looked dazzling, her just everything. But y'all still know that my favorite look of the night is Mel. I already told you guys that. Mel, that look that Mel had was dead on something Rocky would have done if I had been in her place. Just loved it. But I loved Letitia's dress too. Maurice's, I'm sorry, why do I keep wanting to call Marceau Maurice? Marceau just had on a basic silver, a gray suit or whatever. But yeah, that Mel, I just loved it. But I loved Letitia's look too. I loved all the dazzles and the trinkly, all the little shit making noise every time she moved. It was right up my alley. And Martell looked nice. Okay, so yeah, everybody stepped up their game. They got the makeup artists right. They got their hair right. They got them outfits right. I was, yes, here for it. Okay, but if I was to rank it, it was Mel, Letitia, close second, and then Kimmy. But anyway, you guys, so Carlos starts with how the show has helped them all in their career. All right. And, so they all have leveled up when it's come to that show. I mean, anybody who has any sense that goes on these reality shows would need to use the platform. If they knew what was best for them, they would know that this platform, you need to take advantage of it and get your shit out there. I mean, if we ain't learned nothing from Candy, on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And, other Real House, I think on a lot of the shows, the Real Housewife franchises, those ladies now know. And I'm talking about all of the Real Housewives shows. They get busy. They get jobs. They got shit to do. Okay. So it's good to see that people are starting to realize that you might as well use this damn platform. Even if it's negative shit on here, you still on the TV every weekend. The world, the nation, people, millions of people still have access to you. So why not capitalize on it? Okay. Now, Mel is in this really weird kind of the whole night. And I can tell you right now that it got on my nerves because it was just sort of like, you could tell she had a bone to pick. And I was just like, but it felt like she was gonna nitpick on every little thing that has pissed her off and why she's gonna sit there and look like that. So Mel was saying how, back a year ago, I did say these exact same words, how I was proud of everybody, but it did not get shown. So this year, I don't really care about what everybody else is doing. Okay. So she's mad at the producers for not showing that she said that, she was proud of everybody in the business that they did. I guess. So Maurice was like, well, I'm proud of everybody that's up on this stage. Well, you need to make sure your actions show it. He was like, my actions do show it. Okay, well, Meg. I'm going to get these words. I'm going to get these names right today, y'all. Mel would beg to differ. Kimmy was like, okay, first of all, what is it exactly that you think that Maurice has said or done that hasn't seemed like he's proud of you? Well, Mel said that, social media, that damn social media, the unknown, unpaid cast member of this show. Maurice did an interview and he said something like, that we not all friends like that. And Mel had a problem with that because she and Kimmy do have a friendship and it wasn't Maurice's place to speak on it. Kimmy says, okay, listen. You're going to be like this because of something that said. First of all, everybody goes on interviews and says things and you have said those very same words that you don't really fuck with these people. I remember Mel saying something along those lines even on the last reunion. Like, she ain't... I've always told you guys that I don't feel like Mel really likes anybody on the show. Okay? That Mel tolerates everybody because she's got a show to do. And she needs to make sure that, she does her job so she can make her money and that the show can come back. But I feel like Mel really could take or leave any of them guys, including Kimmy, really, honestly. Kimmy, Mel don't have no reason to really not like Kimmy at this point. They've had their shit in the past, but they've gotten through it or whatever. And so, she probably likes Kimmy the most. But truth be told, she probably could deal without Kimmy too, And that's what Kimmy is saying. Like, yeah, Mel has reached out. I do consider Mel a friend. She did reach out. She's all, text messages and checked on me and sent the flowers and called to see how I was doing and all of that. But nobody on this show is somebody that Kimmy is like hanging out with and having a good time. And, you guys know what there's levels of friendship. Okay. So Mel is probably more than an acquaintance, but not necessarily like a bestie. That people use bestie so loosely on these shows. But so Kimmy was just like, we can't just keep on feeling a way about something that somebody says because everybody goes on these interviews and people say things, Carlos was like, yeah, you guys are really good at fun shade. Okay. But like I said, Mel ain't happy about it today. She's over there the whole time. Like, Kimmy was like, if we was going to keep it 100%, Mel has gone on the Carlos's show and said his after show and said that Maurice was the least relevant. That doesn't mean that I'm trying to cast you off, write you off and everything. Like, everybody does it. Okay, let's remember that. Let's move on to Marceau and Letitia, the compound, the Scott, what is it called? Scott Manor, is that the name of it? That we've been waiting a few years for them to break ground to build their dream home on. Carlos was like, is this going to be another Chateau Charest? Is it going to be season 23 before we see this damn house come into fruition? And Marceau said that actually they were supposed to break ground the week before the reunion, but now when they get back, they will be, busting up rock around there. Carlos is actually impressed that Letitia is the majority owner. Okay. And she says, well, it wasn't that hard. Basically she bought out Martell. Martell was going through it and probably needed that money at the time. So, he sold it to her. He was like, a worst decision that I've ever made. Okay. And I was just like, yeah, I'm sure, because now that the business has flipped into a multi-million-dollar business, and Letitia's all just sort of like, thank you for what I've done. But Martell was like, no, that's not necessarily because of what she or Marceau has done. Okay. It is just the nature of the business. You always in the negative and the red when you first starting out. Okay. And then and then after a few years, and you get your feet in the game and people start to come to you for the business, then yeah, you flip it around and you make it. But the thing is, Martell, why you giving all this advice? Why didn't you remember that when you sold your part of the business? Well, because Martell needed the money. But Martell was saying that, his contribution to the business was that him and Mel had Holt and Holt, and they already was doing this kind of stuff. So their name was out there. So they capitalized on Martell and Mel's name, to make it happen. So then Carlos asked Mel, and she was just like, well, I don't know where the money went and everything, but I will say that, due to my connections in the industry, I did funnel a whole lot of jobs their way. Okay. So yeah, everybody was in business together. Everybody was making money together, so yes, that's what it was. Now, of course, it's not like that anymore. Scolt just belongs totally to Letitia and Marceau. Letitia being the majority owner, which doesn't mean much because Letitia and Marceau together. So that's their company. And Marceau made it clear that they did things 50-50. Yes, they did have, they did have the connections, and they also knew more about the industry, but also Marceau knew how to run a business. He had the business license. The builder's license. So everybody worked together. Okay. And I'm sure everybody did their part. Then we find out that there's a lawsuit that apparently Scolt is involved in with some corporation. And they're like, yeah, that's too bad, because Letitia said Marceau worked really hard on it. And it just fell apart. Basically, after COVID started, they had signed this contract, I guess, for this job. COVID started, the world shut down. And I guess his business was a side effect of the world shutting down, and shit not happening, I guess, according to whatever the corporation that they signed with wanted. And so now they're in a lawsuit about that, which was one of the reasons why Marceau went to Africa, I guess, to, clear his head, because Marceau said he was going through a whole lot. Okay. Well, Marceau had to go to Africa by himself. This is kind of one of those things where, sometimes people do shit in their marriage that other people don't understand. It's not for them to understand. You make decisions that is going to work best for you in your marriage. I think that many people can say that sometimes you do shit in your marriage that maybe other people may not approve of, but that's why it's in your own fucking house and not for the whole world to know. But when you're on a reality show, then everybody knows. So, okay, Kimmy, would you let Maurice go to Africa, before Carlos could finish even saying the sentence? Kimmy was like, no. And yeah, I'm thinking I would have been going to Africa too. Like, hey, baby, you can get another room and, deal with whatever you going through. But, we ain't never been to Africa. If you going, damn it, I'm going too. Okay. But that's not how it was. Letitia said, she trusts her husband. If she didn't trust him, she wouldn't be with him. Okay, so if he felt like that's what he needed and they had a conversation about it and that's what she wanted to do, then fine. And the nigga went to Africa and that's that. So then Carlos tells Letitia that he feels like sometimes, now I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said that he feels like sometimes that Letitia has blinders on and doesn't want to really accept that there may be some truth to some of the rumors that are out there. Well, Letitia says there has never been any proof. People have said, including Mel and Martell, they was cheating, and Martell with the 20 girlfriends and all of that. She was like, out of 20 women, you would think that somebody would surface. Okay, because when Martell was cheating, we knew all his shit. That shit was out there. Old girl was out there saying what she had to say. Everybody knew, pictures, videos, all this, text messages. We ain't got none of that. And that's always been my feeling. If at this point, we have been on this show for this long, somebody would have surfaced. Okay. And I think that Letitia in past reunions hasn't felt the most comfortable saying that, but I think now she's gotten to the point where she's just like, bitch, if you're gonna say it, say it. And that's how I feel too. If you have proof, come out and say it. Okay, all this, Martell, well, the fellas, we all got things that we know about each other and that we are never going to share. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. But you cannot tell me, just like Letitia said, that if Mel and Martell had 100% proof that Marceau did it at this point, with is the way that Mel, especially Mel, the way that Mel feels about them, if they had the proof, they would have did it. They would have put it out there. And I'm telling you that is the truth. You can't tell me that Mel wouldn't have done it, because Mel has been plenty pissed at them. Okay. But see, Mel doesn't want her hands to get dirty. So that is the reason why there's been other people that Mel has tried to, that we find out in this reunion. I mean, many of you guys who follow this story off of the show, online and all that, you guys already know, but Mel has tried to bring people on the show, but like low key, try to have people on the show that is going to say something about Letitia and Marceau's marriage. Now, apparently Mel had a friend or a bestie, like they like to say. Mel had a bestie that had this information about Marceau. And so, and Letitia was just like, oh, you mean the one that you tried to pay to get on the show? Man, I don't pay nobody to come on the show. I have no control over that. Okay. But apparently this friend, this bestie of Mel's, I don't know if she's still a bestie, but apparently the bestie had been told Mel, I don't know if the bestie was supposed to be the one that was messing with Marceau, or if the bestie knew something about Marceau messing with somebody. I don't know what that was. But Mel was trying to get her to come on the show, because Mel was just like, well, she told me that, what happened. And I told her, well, you might need to come on the show because, they always saying something. And apparently the girl was like, okay, well, if I come on the show, then I'm going to have to get a little change or something. And Mel supposedly told the girl, oh, well, you're going to have to talk to production about that. I don't have no control over who get paid. Okay. And they were just like, okay, but see, the whole thing is, why were you even having a conversation about this girl, about supposedly what Marceau was doing? Because supposedly bestie, who I guess is not Mel's bestie any longer, called Letitia and told Letitia, I am so sorry about what's going on. And people are saying that I was going to get on the show and blast you. I would never do that. And Mel offered me $5,000 to go on the show. And, I ain't gonna lie. Maybe if it was a little bit more money than that, maybe I would have done it. But, I'm just letting you know that I didn't do it, and blah, 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 and all of this. Okay. And Mel over there. I was just like, I'm tired of this, girl. You cute. You was cute up there on that stage, but come on, Mel. All right. And, truth be told, you guys, I have heard about Mel trying to pay people to say certain things. I mean, if you would even look back on some of the things that people have said about this show, I've heard that Mel has tried to pay them. I've heard people say it out their mouth. Okay. So, it's not surprising at all. So they were just like, Mel, if you're going to tell the story, tell the full story. Like, why is it that you was even having a conversation with this girl? I mean, you mean to tell me that Marceau and Letitia just came up in y'all conversation? I mean, it's clear, but Mel didn't want to talk about it. She tried, let me not say that. Mel was trying to answer Marceau, but he was speaking over her, and she was trying to talk, and then finally she was just like, you know what, I'm not going to fight with legs, hips, and body over here. Not legs, hip, and body. Child. So we just dropped that. Now, moving on. Apparently, the group, the 6 people, I'm assuming, got together and they had a meeting, sans production, sans Carlos, and decided on what was off limits. One of the things that came up that was off limits was the sex party. No, I'm sorry. The Kimmy requesting that them not discuss what Maurice does after 4 o'clock. All right. And why was that? Well, because there's this gossip running around town that Maurice used to have sex parties at his Credit One place, or whatever the name of the place is. That they used to have like these fucking sex parties, and they would be off the chain. And I don't know. I got confused in this because Kimmy was saying how she had an office on top of Credit One, and before they were together, he used to have these parties down there, and the guys was down there. But I was just like, but what did she have an office for? I was confused. So y'all can clarify that for me. But anyway, she said that before they got together, and Maurice was, I guess them guys was pretty well known to be having some off the chain parties at the damn Credit One, which was one of the reasons why they ended up starting Black, so that the men could have somewhere to hang. And, because Carlos was like, so Black was for them to do what? Well, to listen to music and all that. Carlos was like, that is not what men are hanging around each other doing. Okay. It's what is open at 3:00 in the morning, y'all. Y'all already know. But that doesn't necessarily mean that all men that's at a lounge with their homeboy, like they fucking around, But again, that's what they say. Maurice is so fed up about these sex parties rumors that's going around that he said that somebody gonna find themselves in a lawsuit. They keep up with this shit. And of course, Martell and Mel are kind of smirking, and it's you kind of get a feeling that there's more to that story, but everybody is just leaving it the fuck alone. As far as Marceau and Martell, did you lie about the 20 women? He won't say. All right. Did you know Marceau to have, fool around with other women since he's been married? Again, Martell won't say. All right. Well, then did you and Marceau own an apartment together? Marceau was like, we've never owned an apartment together. We've never owned anything together. No property, no real estate, nothing. And then Maurice was like, you guys owned Stag Run. Is that the name of it? Yeah, Stag Run. And I thought that was gonna be something. I was like, Stag Run, that sounds like a nickname for like a place that all the men go and fuck their woman, they side girl on, it's a Stag Run, But turns out that was just a building that they all owned together, the Six, the comeback group. So that was nothing. You see how these damn these previews will make you think one thing, and then when you get there, it's another. So that was one of those times. So anyway, we get back to Carlos asking Letitia, if there was truth to the rumor, what would she do? And she said, well, you know what? I would deal with it in my marriage. And, most likely I would leave him because that is a non-negotiable. I've never cheated on him. And so I expect him to do the same for me. And I'm not going to sit up here and say I'm going to leave my marriage over some gossip and some rumors and some shit until somebody shows me proof. Then that's just what it is. And you can be mad and you can call me stupid and you can do whatever you want to say. Okay. But she ain't leaving. Not on some gossip, which is, yes, you can't end a marriage over some shit that people have heard or created or conjured up, because we do know that people lie. And again, we got Martell and Mel with the smirk, which is like, I just really wish that if you have the proof, then say it. What do you gain from not saying it? Okay, say it. And if they have to beep, if you worried about legalities, they'll bleep the name out, if you don't want to get sued by this person and everything. But at least that shit'll be out there, and then everybody be like, oh shit. And then the social media investigators will go on that person and But what I'm saying is, all this smirking, looking around, not saying nothing, that shit is tired, and it doesn't prove anything. I know you guys are not going to agree. I was tempted to almost watch some of the other YouTubers that was talking about it, because I know that I just wonder what everybody else is thinking. Because I'm just thinking to myself, like, you ain't got proof, then what the fuck is why do you keep on with this? Why? So anyway, say the shit or shut up. Carlos says, well, we do have somebody that, got some shit on the marriage, supposedly. So he introduces Kiki and Miss Wanda. Okay. Again, Kiki, beautiful. Kiki, we always knew that Kiki and Letitia look alike, but they really looked alike this night. Makeup looked the same. Damn hairstyle was the same. And Carlos asked Kiki, was she nervous? She was just like, you know, she is really excited to be there. Okay, because I guess she feels like now she's able to clear her name. Now, Letitia's always maintained that Mel used Kiki to get information out of about Letitia and to just get to Letitia. Okay, get under her skin. I will 100% agree with that. I know that Mel says that she and Kiki were actually friends first because they had mutual besties. Is this the same bestie that you was gonna get $5,000? All these damn besties. Shit. They had a mutual bestie together, so that's the reason why she knew Kiki ahead of time. I mean, ahead of Letitia. And so that is the reason why that she invited her to the Christmas party. So yes, Mel did bring the girl on the show to spite Letitia. Mel even admitted it. She said that they was talking on the phone and, you know, Kiki was like, girl, do you know what Letitia said? And then Kiki would tell her what Letitia said to her and did or whatever. And then Mel was just like, well, girl, you might need to come on the show because, you know, you can now tell everybody what Letitia has done to you. Letitia was just like, yeah, I mean, clear. I mean, it's obvious, you guys. I mean, you have to be a rocket scientist for this. You know, Letitia tells us how Mel was trying to find dirt on Marceau and Letitia to the point where she even had a friend that worked at the courthouse. This is what Kiki told her, that Mel has a friend that works at the courthouse and can get information on them. You know, kind of pull their record to see, you know, whatever is going on there. Mel was just like, I don't even know what she's talking about. I don't know nobody. I don't know them people that work. I was like, now you was just saying that you know everybody in Huntsville. You got all these connections. And now all of a sudden you don't know these people at the courthouse. Okay, fine. Kiki was like, I never said that. So I guess Letitia just made that up. I mean, could be. I mean, people make up stories, but I'm leaning towards believing Letitia. So anyway, Letitia gets frustrated and was just like, you know what? It's obvious that Kiki is about to be Mel's puppet because that's what they do. So I'm going to lead them to it. So, you know, she walks off the stage and, you know, everybody is just like, wait a minute, you know, Marceau, Letitia, come back. You know, Carlos tries to stop her. She walks off. So while she's gone, Kiki says, well, Mel did ask, you know, call me and ask me about the accident that Marceau had. You know, she was asking, like, which car was it? Was it the truck? Was it the car, the sports car and all of this? Mel was just like, thank you, regular conversation. Why are you even concerned about Marceau's accident? I mean, if you don't like them, but you calling Kiki, Mel, stop it. While they're having that conversation, Tisha comes back with the puppets, which I must say was fucking hilarious. It was so random and not expected, and definitely not expected from Letitia. I was cracking up. And damn, she had the two puppets, you know, one was supposed to be Mel and one was supposed to be Kiki, and them two conversations about, you know, them attacking basically Letitia's marriage. So that shit was funny. Even though Mel didn't want to laugh, even she laughed at that. Okay, because the damn Mel puppet had that blonde thing. I was cracking up. Well, Carlos says, Letitia, are you saying that Kiki is a puppet for Mel? And yes, that is exactly what she's saying. They get back to the car accident. You know, Marceau was saying how Mel didn't think that, you know, he could even afford that. I guess they talking about the Mercedes with the phantom doors or whatever they call them. Are those called phantom doors that go up like this? I mean, very, very splashy car, but I mean, you know, I'm sure they could afford it. But I guess Marceau said that Kiki told them that Mel told Kiki that, you know, she was asking about the car because how could he even afford the car because he's broke? That's what she had heard. And so, you know, well, did she say that? Kiki said, well, she might have said something along the lines of, what car was it? Like, how can he afford that car? You know, man, I've never said anything like that. You know, people buy them kind of cars all the time. You know, people don't buy those kind of cars all the time. Bitch, you know, everybody can't go to the Mercedes dealer and ask for them with these damn doors going up and buy. No, everybody don't do that, Mel. So, so then Carlos was like, Kiki, you kind of playing double agent. Basically, bitch, you on both sides of the fucking fence. Mel tell you something, you go back and tell Letitia. Letitia tell you something, you go back and tell Mel. Like, what is it? And she was just like, well, I was trying to just make sure that, I don't know why I ain't never did Kiki's voice before, because this is exactly how she said, you know, I was just trying to make sure that she didn't have no reason to think that she was threatened by my relationship with Mel. Okay. That's pretty good, Roxanne. But yeah, Kiki still See, the way that I've understood, way that I've thought their relationship was, because Letitia has said it before, them two have been close since they were 13 years old. But them two fought a lot as they've grown up because there always been some competition. Remember, Letitia told us that in the past, that the family would kind of pit them against each other because, I mean, whatever, for whatever reason, whatever they did, one came from a better side of the track than the other, let them, that's what supposedly it is. But so they would fight a lot. So even though they care about each other as family, there's an element of competition between the two of them, because that's just has been the nature of their relationship as they've grown up. But I guess Letitia didn't think that Kiki would go this far to go against her and her marriage, because Letitia was like, you did that to hurt me, because I've never tried to go out of my way to hurt you. And yes, I do think that that's a stab in the back. I would definitely 100% feel the same way if a cousin of mine did this on a show to me. And Letitia told her, like, you knew the things that I've been going through. And if you were a true friend / cousin, blood cousin to me, you wouldn't stab me in the back that way. Carlos asked Kiki, so has Letitia ever talked to you about Marceau cheating? Okay. Has she ever said that Marceau cheated on me? She says no. Okay. Did she talk to you about suspicions of him cheating? Well, like anybody, they was like, no. That is not what we said. It's just a yes or no answer. But Kiki won't say yes or no. She just says that she did deal with some things in the past. And Carlos says before the show, and she says yes. Okay, so this hasn't happened in the last 5-6 years of their marriage. Her having a conversation with her cousin, thinking that maybe some shit might have been going on. So Letitia says, well, okay, I'll tell you what she's talking about. I had found a picture of a woman in Marceau's phone. And then the show, that's where the episode ends. Okay. And I'm sure we'll get to it next week. But I'm sure there's going to be some explanation about it, child. We're going to find out it ain't what we thought it was, because that's how they do these shows, these cliffhangers and everything. But yeah, it was actually a good reunion. I just really I don't like Mel to sit there. I just feel like people need to just come on and say it, because that's the reason that we have a reunion. If you're going to continue to insinuate but not say it, then I am not going to pay you any attention. I just don't believe it. I feel like if there's proof, then you need to say it. So, but I did enjoy the reunion. It definitely was good TV. Like I said, Carlos has got a winner still in Love and Marriage Huntsville. Guys, let me get on to the Housewives of Potomac review, child. That show is the complete opposite. Anyway, you guys, make sure that you thumbs up this video, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox. Everything I do is going to be in the bottom bar, because I'm going to put that as my default, so it'll automatically be there, you guys. I'm trying to get better in 2023. All right. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same, Roxstars. Until next time. Bye.